Hello and welcome. This is Heidi's Homemade, and this is episode number 40 of Flosstube. And if you are new here, this is a video about cross stitch. And if you're not, thank you for coming back. Welcome to everybody. So, it's been a busy month. I had planned to do a video sooner than this. However, I've had a cold, so if I sound a little stuffy, or I might end up having to pause the video at some point to blow my nose. But yeah, so I've been really busy with work. If you are a new visitor or if you haven't watched recently, I took a position in the middle of the school year as a 7th grade science teacher. And it has been interesting, to say the least. So I feel like I have not done a ton of stitching because when I get home from work, I usually don't stitch much, and if I do, it's only for like an hour. So I don't get a lot of stitching done during the week. Most of my stitching has been happening over the weekend. And since I haven't really been feeling great, I haven't fully been stitching the way I would normally stitch either. So there's that. I do have quite a bit of stuff to show you guys today because I haven't filmed in like a month. So it's going to look like I have a lot of stuff that I've stitched on. However, it's been over a month, so I feel like it's not as much as it could be. Anyway, so let's get into stitchy stuff. I don't have any fully finishes. I haven't gotten around to doing any fully finishing. I really should. I just haven't yet. I do have several small finishes, and when I say small finishes, they're smalls, but they're also like a part of a set, I guess, because most of the stuff that I started on 12 by 12 were like ornament sets and stuff like that, so they all kind of go together with other sets, so they're like small finishes. They're not complete finishes, I guess. I have not marked them as finished in my Notions app. I'll put it that way. But they are completely stitched and ready to be put into the finished box. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a couple new starts. So there's that too, and yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it. So last time I showed you guys a bunch of small finishes from this pattern book from Crochet Go Go, and I had started in 12 by 12. I had done this one. That's the one I started with. And then I had gone and done this little snowflake one and this little mittens one. They're very hard to see. And then I went on to the ice skate. And I will put a picture in because everybody likes those extra pictures. And all I had was like the bottom of the skate done. So not super impressive, but I did finish that one. So this is what I have. And I used a color, this is Cafe au Lait from my Vintage Needle Arts on Etsy. And it's a very similar to the called for color. And the white does not show up very good. And so having that extra, that teal kind of going around it definitely helps show the white. but the snowflakes kind of just blend in with the background. In person, you can see it a lot better than you can in the camera. And I don't plan on fully finishing these until I get the whole set stitched. So I am like halfway. So I've done 2 large ones and 2 small ones. So there's 2 large ones left and a small one. I take that back, 2 small ones because there's a freebie pattern in this one. So yeah, so that is finished number 1. And I'm not really showing these in any particular order as far as when I stitch them. It's just how I have them laid out. So the next one that I finished, so this one, if you watched my WIP parade, I mentioned that this one I had not stitched on since I started it. And I want to say I started it last year's 12 by 12 and didn't stitch on it after I started it for that. I worked on it about, I don't know, about a month ago, just before my last video. I stitched on it just a little bit, and then because it honestly shouldn't have taken that long to finish. It really shouldn't have. So I went ahead and finished it. So here it is, back stitching and everything. And I think that the back stitching really pulls out, especially the, I mean, that's where the back stitching is, but especially like their little faces, and like where one ends and one begins, I guess. But yeah, so I have not started any of the other ones. I'm not sure if I'm going to anytime soon. I really don't know. But I do have all the fabric cut to do that. So I might one of these days be like, hey, I should start one of those other ones. And, you know, because that's what I do. And yeah, that's what I do. So my next one is the Noel in Blue by Lila Studio. And I started this one for 12 by 12. And I have finished it. And this is on 20 count Mimosa Green. And I think that it is super cute on the 20 count. Oops. And yeah. And I have the fabric cut for all 4. So there's that. I did start the next one, but I'll show it to you in the next little segment in new starts. So there's that. So I will not put that too far. Okay. The next one that I finished, so I started for 12 by 12, I started with the little scissor fob part, and I did not get very far. And both sides of the fob are different, so they don't look the same. But what I had done when I was stitching in 12 by 12, instead of following this pattern, or it might be the back of that one, but anyway, instead of following that pattern, for some reason I was looking at this one, and so it wasn't coming out right, and I had to frog it. But since then, I have finished the pieces of the fob. I have not fully finished it yet. So here we are. Here are the pieces of the fob. And I stitched these on 16 count milk chocolate from My Vintage Needle Arts. And I am not using called for color. I am using similar, but the purple is definitely a different color than what is called for. It's called for more of a raspberry color, and I picked more of a purple color. And I'm going to pause because they are right outside my apartment. Okay. So they were right outside my apartment, trimming the bushes, because that's what they do whenever I start filming a video. It doesn't even matter what day I choose. Anyway, so I finished the fobs, and I just need to cut them, trim them closer, and sew them together. I think that according to the instructions, I think there is, like, you put a little bit of batting in it or something like that. But I'm planning on following the instructions that are on the pattern to actually make the fob the way that it's supposed to be made. So we will see how that works out. If not, I'll just make it into a little bitty pillow. So we will see. And then that is all of the finishes that I have. We're going to backtrack a little bit because I do have some new starts that go along with the finishes that I had. So we'll go back to this one since I just had it. So WIP. So I finished the key fob, and so now I am working on the biscornu. And trying not to show the pattern because, you know. This is what I have. Let's see. This is it. Okay. I stitch in the same direction always, so like usually it doesn't take me long to figure out where I am, but this is where I'm at. So basically what I did is, as I was finishing one of the colors on these, and if I still had thread left, I started stitching what I had left of the thread over on the biscornu. And so that, and it's all on the same color fabric. I don't have enough of the fabric to do the big piece, so I'm either going to order another piece of this color, or I will find something else. But I do actually like how they made a bag out of it, so I might decide to do something like that. I'm not sure. But I have never done a biscornu, so I really liked how these colors come together, and so I'm really excited about finishing this one. I just haven't worked on it since I finished those and started this. So, because I like to work on a lot of different things at the same time. So, there's that. The next one, so I showed you that I finished this one. So after I finished this one, I started that one. And this is where I'm at on the little reindeer. I've got, I would say that I'm probably 2/3 of the way done. Once I finish the outline of the sweater, then there is some fill-in at the cuffs and the neck, and then there's like the ribbing that goes across the bottom of the sweater, and there's a few snowflakes, and that's pretty much it. So this one could be a relatively quick finish. It is on 20 count, so it is kind of small, and I have to focus a little bit. Not too bad, because it's not, to me, it's not that much different than stitching on 18 count, and 18 count is usually what I stitch on. 18 count, 36 count. So there's that. But I think that that is super cute. And I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do all three. I do also have the Noel in red. So I don't know, but I have plenty of this fabric to be able to do the Noel in red on the green as well, and I think that will look really cute. I need to get, because I don't have it, she released the green version, but it's called something different. I want to say it's like woodland sweaters or something like that. I don't know. But I know that there's a third one that I might have to pick up so that I do that one too. And I haven't decided how I'm going to finish them yet. Everyone keeps asking me. I don't know if I'm going to do it in the little sweater, kind of cut out a little bit the way that it shows here. I actually, because this is kind of a stiffer Ada, I was thinking about finishing it almost like it was a paper, like a perforated paper, and finishing it with like felt on the back and putting the hanger on it, and then maybe going around the outside with something, ribbon or yarn or, you know, whatever, twisted floss, who knows. But it wouldn't need much, just enough to cover the edges. But it's really coming out cute, I think. I like it. I like the set. The only one that I'm not 100% on is the snowman. I'm not too crazy about the snowman, which is why I'm not sure if I'm going to do all four of them. I might do the other three and call it good. I'm not sure. But then I would just use the other piece I have cut for the red one. No biggie. So let's see. So those are new starts, continuations, I guess you could say, of those. Then an actual new start. So I had done one of these. So I had bought this in a set of 5 at the attic, one of the times that I went, and it I did the first one really big. I did it 2/2 on 25 count, which makes it what, like 12.5 counts, something like that. So it's really big. So I decided to do the others tiny. So 1 big one and 4 tiny ones. And I should have enough on each corner from the big one to get it on the same piece of fabric. So this is in the Leafy Treetops, and this is from Under the Garden Moon is the pattern designer. And like I said, I got it as like a 5-pack of patterns. So this was the big one that I did, and I showed that a little while ago in my video, and you can kind of see my little start. So here is my little start of this guy, and I have his wing done. So I have his wing done here, and it's going to be really cute and tiny, and yeah, it's just going to be a nice little cute little tiny pillow. And as long as I have like a 1/2 inch on the side of this one, I am hoping to be able to do the other 3 in each one of the corners, and that way I can just make them all out of the same piece of fabric. And they use a lot of the same colors, so I just pretty much just kit it all up at once, and as I feel like it, I stitch on it. So I started that one night when I didn't really feel like stitching on anything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start something new because I don't really feel like stitching on anything right now. So, I mean, I felt like stitching. I just didn't have anything that I felt like stitching on, I guess you could say. So there is that. Okay. That is my only new start. Let's see. On to WIPs, because there's several WIPs. Okay. So, and these are not in any particular order. It's just how I have them stacked here. Okay. So, for 12 by 12, I started the Blooming Tiny Town. I had done the Honey of a Tiny Town last year for 12 by 12, so I decided to do another one for this year's 12 by 12. And I'll have a picture so you can see where I'm at. And I have not moved my hoop. I've just been filling in. There we go. I can't. Filming is hard. So, this is where I'm at. This is a 6-inch hoop, I think. And I have just been going color by color and adding in a bit more. I added in some of the back stitching going up to this flower here and the clouds. Added those in. And these two houses on either side were not there at all. All I had was the beginning of this house and some of the fence here. So yeah, I actually gave this a little bit of time. I can't talk. It's okay. It's coming out really cute. I really like the color tone of this fabric. I'm not sure if it's really coming across very well. It is earthen, and I want to say it's a picture of this plus color, but it's like a pinkish brown, more pink than brown, honestly. And I am a little worried that some of the pinks that are pulled are not going to show, so I might end up having to switch out some of the pinks because there's one that's a lighter color that I'm not sure if it's going to show on here. So I will have to be aware of that when I'm stitching it. But everything else, all the other colors, really look good. And I want to say this is 712 is coming out nice and creamy on that fabric, and you can really you can really see it. And in person you can really see it. Okay. So that is that one. Okay. Then this one I worked on I want to say I worked on this the last time I went to the library. We were supposed to go yesterday, but it was the last time I was at the library. We were supposed to go yesterday, but there was a big event going on in downtown Mesa where the library is, and the library, the whole area around the downtown library was just blocked off and you couldn't get to it. So I ended up having to cancel that. And but the last time I did go to the library and I started stitching was just before I got sick. My cold started as a sneeze while I was sitting at the library, and then by the next morning, I was full-blown cold. So that's how it went. This one is Haunted Mansion by Bendy Stitchy, and I started this as a start-along with my friend Melissa, and we both started it on purple fabrics. Mine is a bit more wine color than hers, and I honestly, I can't even think what color she ended up using. I am using pretty much all of the called for colors The only thing that I think I changed was instead of using Blanc Etoile, I used like 415 or something like that, the pale gray one. So this is where I am at. And so I have a good portion of the house done. I started adding in the foundation of the house, which will get me back over this way to where the tombstones are, and will get me a better count towards the tombstones. Because then after this, there is the little post thing and the tombstones and the fence. There's a lot of back stitching in this, so once I get done with the regular stitching, because I don't think there's like a ton of more regular stitching. It's going into mainly the back stitching. There's another tree on the other side over here, and then there's another portion of the cemetery on this side. This is the lamppost right here, so there's really not that much left. And if I just like actually gave it some time, it probably wouldn't take that long for me to finish it. And the color on this fabric is much darker than what it's coming across on the screen. It's much more wine color. I can't think of what it is called. I don't remember what it was called. But it's also a My Vintage Needle Arts, and it is an 18 count. But I really like how it's coming out. I've been actively working on it slowly because I don't want to finish it too far ahead of my friend, but I know that she has other focus pieces, so I don't know, maybe because I actually do enjoy stitching on it when I stitch on it, so maybe I will just go ahead and stitch on it and see if I can finish it. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. And the flosses in this Kit Up series had gotten a hold of and chewed on some of them. So I've been switching them out as I need to because some of them are not usable anymore. Because my dog is fun. He does like to chew on floss. So there's that. Let's see. Okay, next up is I spent some time, actually last night, stitching on my Satsuma Street ornaments. I had not stitched on them for a while, probably like a month or so, like since the last time that I showed you a picture of them, honestly. And when I stitch on them, I stitch a color, and because they have the same colors in most of the ornaments, so I'll stitch a color, and then if I finish the color on that, then I'll move on to the next one, and I'll finish stitching the color until I'm done with the floss, or until there's no more that I can stitch. So that being said, I feel like it doesn't look like there's a lot more done, but there is. I stitched on this for several hours yesterday. So first one up is Cool Kid. And this is where Cool Kid is. So I added in the top of his head. I finished out his little cheeks here and here. The tops of his earmuffs got filled in. More of the scarf got filled in because I added that blue color into the scarf. I think that's about all I did on this one because it was the blues that I was working on. So there is Cool Kid. The next one is Santa Cruzer. So on this one, I added in quite a bit of stitching on this one. So I added the tires are all new, except for I think I had a little bit of the inside of this tire. And then I finished off all of that is all new. I added in the whites of his beard and his hats and everything. All that white is done. I finished the white that was on the door because there was a couple rows that weren't done yet. I went over and I finished off this present and started on this one. So I've added quite a few stitches on this one, and this one's been kind of the one that I've been going off of to continue. So I will find a color on here that is on at least one other one, and I will stitch it on here, and then I'll go on to like Cool Kid and put in the stitches there, and then I'll go back to this one and find another color that's on another, and so on. So this has kind of been my starting point going on to the other ones. So that is Santa Cruzer. And then Lolly Claus has not gotten a lot of love. So there's Lolly Claus. And last time I showed her was right after I started it, and I hadn't had a lot done. All I had was the red color was all I had put in. And so yesterday I got into this pink because one of the ornaments on the Santa Cruzer had this pink in it. And it was just a little bit, but I'm like, I know that it's in this. So I went ahead and finished, and it was like a whole strand of floss, which was nice because I hate putting it back on the floss drop or whatever I'm using. But you can start to see her whole dress starting to come in, and it's starting to come to life, and that's the fun part. That's the fun part. So those, I think I will probably work on some more. I don't know if I will work on them and finish them before the next video. No promises at all, but I do plan on putting a little bit more work on it. I tend to work on those while I'm sitting here at my table, and then I have my my TV over here, and I'm like listening to Flosstube or whatever. But I tend to work on it while I'm sitting at the table because the way that the holes are, I'm constantly dropping the needle through the hole, and I'm worried that it's going to fall onto the rug and get in my dog's paws and whatever. So I figure if it falls onto the table, it's easier than if it falls onto the floor or onto the couch or whatever. So there's that. So it's been living here on the table like the whole time and just not been worked on. All right. So next up, the one that I'm always showing you, I feel like, because I post about it every 3 weeks, so I'm always showing you this one. So Bloom and Grow from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and of course I have pictures, so you'll see what it was at. And I did add some stitches in, and I need to pick it up again because I'll have to post soon on this one. So this is where I am at now. The pots are almost all done now. There's just, I think there is this one where this top part needs to get filled in, and then there is this one where it needs to get there's 2 colors, I think, that's left on this one that needs to get filled in. But as you can see, I have started going up into the flowers. So, yeah. It's just a lot of block color, and I'm not a huge fan of blocked color. So, yeah. But using it as my blog post, it is forcing me to work on it and forcing me to get it done, basically. Which is the whole thing, because I do a sale on my blog where a bunch of people are linked to it, and we can work on whatever we want. We just can only work on one project, which kind of forces us to work on a project to completion. So that's kind of the point of that. Let's see. Next one is Be Like a Crow. Ooh. Jumping floss. So Be Like a Crow by Erica Michaels. And I'm doing this one. And got like 3 needles because I was using 3 colors. So let's see. All right. So this is where I'm at. I've got Friends finished, and I've added in this top border. Actually, I've added quite a bit, honestly. I am almost, I'm to the Be Like a Crow part that goes on top. So it says Be Like a Crow right above this motif, and then it has the branch with the crow sitting on it at the top, and that is it. So this one is getting there. I finally added in that 3rd color. So it's got the black, of course, and then it's got this golden color, and then this like golden brown color that I added for the leaves, which will also be the color of the branch. But I think that it looks really nice on this blue fabric. And this is 18 count Haunted, and I want to take a picture of this left. It is the leftover piece from Away We Ride, which is right there. So yeah. It's mostly one color, so it goes pretty fast when I'm stitching on it. It is super soft though, so I have to stitch on it in a hoop, which is not my favorite. So I don't stitch on it probably as often as I could because it is in a hoop. So there's that. But that's okay. It will get done, and it will probably get done sooner rather than later because I really do like the pattern. And not that I don't like other patterns, but I think that this one will be a quicker finish. So this is probably going to be one that I pick up again in the near future. Who knows? I say that now, and sometimes that's not anywhere near what I actually do. So. All right, I think I am down to, yes, I'm down to my last WIP. And this one is, oh, I have it. Okay. I'm like, where's the pattern? I just have the papers mixed up. There it is. So this one is Acorn House from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. I really like these series. So this is the Pumpkin Lane series, and then there is the, what is it? Is it the Christmas, or is it Peppermint Lane? Peppermint Lane, I think is what it's called. And then there's the new one, which is Wisteria Lane, which I really like the colors of that one. And I did see that there's going to be a couple more new releases of Wisteria Lane at Market. So, as of right now, there's a couple that I saw that I really liked, but I have no plans to make any pre-orders for Market stuff. So, this is where I am at now. So last time you saw this, it was just the house, and I think I might have had like the dark leaf and the dark pumpkin in there. So I've added in everything else. So, and I filled in the windows. And this is on a no-name 18 count Ada that I got on Amazon. And it's like a putty color, but it's a thicker kind of fabric. It's not soft. It's not super soft. I don't need a hoop. I don't feel the need for a hoop on this one. But it's not super stiff either. It's like, I don't know. It's a nice weight, I guess, is what I'm going for. But I'm stitching it 1/1 on 18 counts. And I really like the coverage that it's giving me. So there's that. And what I like about these is that they all use the same colors. So once you have the colors for one of the houses, you have the colors for the rest of them. I don't think I came across one that I've had to add a color in to it. So there's that. Okay. That is it. I do not have anything else. I know that it was like a month since I had posted a video, and I had not intended to do that. I had intended to, and I think I knocked my camera. I had intended to post a video last weekend, but that did not happen. So, usually I am back in 2 weeks to give you an update, but we will see how that goes. I'm planning to do 2 weeks, but who knows? Life happens. I do want to thank you for watching the video. If you got this far, thank you. And if you got this far and you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Yeah, I did not prepare any other information. Usually I do a watch list of Flosstubers, and I do not have anything prepared. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here because, yeah, my brain is not working. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.